matter? That's not girls. If you love her so much, why don't you marry her? What are you talking about?
Hello.
Like, seriously.
Oh, we're live.
You look at her all like,
One second.
oh.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. We are
have
live.
a 3-year-old son,
Ooh.
which is an adventure.
You always kind
Go
of feel
away.
like you're on borrowed
Go
time
away.
too. So
Not you, Steve.
You tell him going away.
Not you. I wouldn't tell you to go away. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yes, we always got while this young lady does her hair, and makeup and what they got to do. I hope everybody is well. So, Angela, what are you talking about tonight, then?
There are two sections to my topic. Traditional thinking is one of them.
Ooh. Right.
And it is about, if you want success, it's associating being successful and wealthy versus being traditional in your thoughts, not like have sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, like one gets.
All right. Oh no, I thought they were queuing up.
So, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I just opened my door just now, and there was about 20 ladies there, kind of like on their simmer frames, and one of them was doing their hair, lipstick, and everything, and they said, "It's just a brothel," and I said, "Yes, but I'm having my tea. If you can come back in a minute, I'd be too grateful." So, yeah.
How are you coping with the heat?
Oh, it's hot, isn't it?
It's very hot.
Very hot. The last time I felt really, really hot is about a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to be rude, but it was so hot. Certain clothings had to come off.
Yes, I know. My bra had to come off today.
I thought, I can't be bothered with this.
Yes, yeah. Can you imagine if you're on the bus or something, and you want to take your bra off, you go for your shirt.
Well, I was in a coach and it's tinted, so I just did a quick shuffle room. I thought I cannot be wearing double layers today.
Years ago. Sorry, folks, we're just having a chat. Before I met my beautiful wife, I was going to Portsmouth and on a coach, and it was boiling, and I sat at the back of the coach with my legs up and everything, and this woman came on, and it's not the back seat but the other seat. You can see everything, and she said, "Can you do me a favour? Can you kind of look at the window?" That's what she said. I said, "Well, what do you want me to look at the window for?" I said, "You can always go down the." She says, "I want to take my pants off because I'm sweaty." Right? And I thought, all right then. I look at the window, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God!" I looked at the window, and when it's sunny on the coach, you can actually see reflection, can you?
I was gonna say.
Yeah. And I looked on the. This is true. I looked on the I looked on. I couldn't put my eyes anywhere else. And she stood back over, taking her knickers down, right? Puts her in her handbag, right? And she squirts underneath her dress, right? And she says, "Oh, you can look now." I said, "I don't. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, brilliant." Then I went, "Whew, what's that?" She says, "Well." She says, "I just put some that Laura Ashley stuff on me."
Yeah.
I thought that is really, really nice. She said, "Yeah." She said, "Actually, kind of like be cool and everything." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yes, I know, yeah." And then Anyway, so yeah, so then when she was getting off the coach, I think it was Fairham, she got off of the coach, and all of a sudden you could see the part of her knickers out of her handbag. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, oh my god, she's about she's about in her 50s. I was only about 27. I was thinking, oh god, people do what they want to do on a coach, don't they? Eh? Girl.
That's so funny. I tell you what, I just felt something similar today. I thought, there's no way will I be wearing anything underneath. So I just, did what one must. So
Well,
it's
there you
very
go.
hot.
You
Very
you
hot.
got to kind of like, well, you got it, you flaunt it, didn't you?
Well, I didn't want to flaunt it. I just wanted to get cool.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go naked across Parliament Square, in London. Run across
Oh.
Parliament Square, Here comes the Mitchell here, man. If you want a tire, come and chase me quick. Um, um,
Oh dear.
you got to have a laugh, didn't you?
Yes.
Anyway, so I'll let you get on with it if you want.
Sure. Thank you very much.
That's all right. I'll be here listening.
Well, welcome everybody to Talking Life at 7 for a change. It's been some time, but today I managed to finish a little bit early and had enough time to go into town and, get a few things done. I've already had my supper. I treated myself every Friday. I usually treat myself to something, whatever, So I had my supper already. I'm quite thirsty. How are you coping with the heat? And it's nice to be presenting at 7 for a change, because it is a nice sort of time. It's Friday, it's the beginning of the weekend, and it's just a lovely, beautiful day to have a little chinwag and something for you to contemplate during the weekend, if you please. So today's topic is about how to be successful. And you're probably going to think, oh, what's all that about? I'm sure you've heard those, words or sentences many, many times on social media, because everybody's an expert on social media, aren't they? So I even today I had a text from on the messenger from a chap who was going to convert so much money into £53,000 or something like that, and book my blueprint program and all that stuff. And I said, no, thank you, goodbye, have a great day. Because without hard work, and if you don't have the knowledge and the expertise in the area you are serving, then it isn't going to happen for you. The success isn't going to happen like that. This is not how success works. So I wanted to share some practical things, my observations. And I'm not saying I am right, although usually I am right because everybody tells me that. But I wanted to share a perspective with you, because this is what Talking Life is about. It's lovely to share ideas. Feel free to comment or connect with Steve and let him have your comments. And I would love to understand perhaps your thoughts on the matter. What do you think about success? Yes, 7 p.m., not 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. You should have said, Steve. It is absolutely wonderful to be on Talking Life at 7 and on Friday as planned, and it feels quite great. And after this, I'll be going to the gym. I'm going for a lovely swim and some weight workout. So I'm looking forward to that, actually. I am really looking forward to that. So after this, I shall be doing that anyway. Not deviating from the subject, but in your views, what is success? And I'm not going to give you a boring, talk or share my thoughts with you because I know what I am talking about. Yeah, okay, I know what I am talking about based on the lifestyle I have led and the observations I have made about life, and I've had very independent life, a life without influence. So my observation is very much my own. It's not an influence of another person or persons. I've got a sneeze coming on. Please don't do that to me. It's always when I go live on Crossroads Podcast UK, I want to sneeze for some reason. It must be the aftershave that Steve is wearing tonight. Because we can blame all things on Steve, because that's what Crossroads is all about. So, boo. So what is success to you? Success comes in many forms. It depends what your view is on success. Do you feel like if you have lots of money and houses and you don't have to work, is that success to you? Or is it that you don't ever have to worry about paying your bills? Is that what success is to you? Or is it that you have got everything you want ever in your life and you feel that is what success is to you? We all will have very different version of success. What is your version? It's good to contemplate on that, because it's good to understand what is it the success means to you, and then perhaps you can plan your life around it. So I've got, if I have money, I won't be doing this. Yes, so some people say, if I had everything I wanted, I would quit my job. And the opposite of that thinking is, there are some people who stay in employment, let's say 65, 70, and then suddenly find themselves very bored or very, oh my God, they've lived that working lifestyle for so long. It has a detrimental effect on their life, or that retirement is not the joyous occasion, for example. So would you say they've led a successful life and unsuccessful retirement life? I don't know. I don't know what one thinks. But isn't success every day? Every day that you have woken up and conducted your day as you wanted, and you retired in the evening after being content with what you have achieved on that particular day, isn't that success? Would you not say, I've had a successful day? There is another thing I wanted to add to the topic. So there are two parts of the topic: being successful and being traditional at heart. I am very much a modern person, a modern human being, a very independent woman. I have traditional thoughts and non-traditional thoughts. For example, although I never wanted to get married, I have been married. And although I don't believe marriage as it is serves a purpose, or it's almost like it is not fit for purpose, you know, because if you think about it, how much losses are incurred with the wedding, and if and when the wedding goes wrong, I just feel, what is the marriage's true purpose in the 21st century? In the previous, century and in the past, being connected in a marital way with somebody was a huge thing, and in some culture it still is. It's tying your two great families together. Really, that is the reason behind it in the past. And is to, sometimes you would marry the royal family, for example, with another royal family from another country to, strengthen the ties between two countries. And not much is different about the commoners, if you like, the common average person. So I love being married. I have cleaner, washer, washer-upper, and waitress. This is exactly what I mean, people. So I have not led a traditional life, but I have traditional ethics. Now, is that contradictory? No, I don't think so, because it works wonderfully for me. I love the fact I can wake up every morning and I don't have to answer to anybody. I lead my day as I had planned, and not much goes wrong. Nothing really goes wrong. I usually have a very, very good day. I am a very skillful human being. I am self-sufficient, if you like. And really, where is the marriage comes into it? For example, has marriage added losses to your wealthy bank accounts, or has it added more finances or stability? And so it depends. It's all different. But what is the core reason behind why we get married? And the reason why I'm talking about marriage, this topic isn't about marriage, but marriage plays, or partnership of some form, it plays a role in being successful. Now, I'll share a little personal note, as I usually do. My father was the first divorcee in his family, and it wasn't frowned upon for him, being a male. He wasn't gonna. He was a successful businessman, so it wasn't a detriment to his lifestyle or his future relationships. But he was the first divorcee in his family. And I was talking to my friend the other day she's part Catholic, and there are Catholic sides of the family, but very, very strict, no divorcees. And the other side of the family don't even care. So even in the 21st century, sorry, we still have staunch, traditionalists or traditional way of thinking people. We still have it, and not just in this country, but around the globe, in all different countries. But you wouldn't think that the divorce is higher in this country or the other country, because it's kind of the same, really. It's kind of the same. In fact, according to the US News and World Report, Steve writes here, Couples who are living together but not married make only what, Steve? Some marry for financial. Yeah. So is marriage a business transaction, for example? Because in some culture, it very much is. Because two families, when they are married into each other's family, because, marriage of two individuals unites the whole family and not just one. I haven't muted my notifications, so the sounds are going off everywhere. So I do apologize. And it is very much like a business transaction, and this is what I mean. Some people marry for love, and some people say you are an idiot for marrying for love. Some people say love happens as you grow together. I kind of believe that, because in my life, I can love most men, like you know my reputation now. Steve is soon gonna come with a very harsh comment on that. He usually does. So, I'm not very fussy. I just like a perfect man. And if he's not perfect, chuck him out. It's very simple. And I have, in that process, acquired many experiences. But none has come across who I would have loved to have a child with, for example. And you say that, these are the, if you read the note that our lovely Steve has shared, look at the financial stuff that are tax breaks, child benefits, legal commitment. Legally, it does not secure a person in any way. It attaches a person legally. That's all it is. It is not. I'm a Christian, and I go to church every Sunday, and I volunteer a lot of my time towards church commitments. I'm not saying marriage is wrong. I am just saying, do we walk correctly and decide correctly to marry somebody? Because marriage is costly. Having kids with that person is costly. It costs your independence, for example. When you have a child, you are nurturing. Your prime responsibility is to nurture the child. So when do you nurture yourself? Now, this is all, we are kind of entwining the two topics, and this is why I wanted to talk about the marriage, the traditional way of thinking, and success. Because, first of all, you need to understand what is successful. What is success means to you. Second, you need to understand is how are you going to make that success happen for you. Third, the choices you make on relationship will directly affect your decision making. So are you going to, go with so many partners and take a chance? Are you a chancer, or do you plan? There are ladies that I know, they plan so well. Their summer break is when they will be delivering their child and so on. Some plan so beautifully, and others chance it and worry about the consequences later. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, that's fine. But what is marriage? What does marriage mean to you? Why is marriage different to a person who have lived together for 20, 30, 40 years? And I do know those people who've lived for so many years in the same house, share everything, but they are not legally bound But actually, if you're living with somebody for a year, you are legally bound anyway. So what is the true purpose of marriage? Is marriage fit for purpose? Is marriage a trap? Because try separating from that person. It costs you an arm and a leg and best part of your health and all the abuse you might have experienced. Look at the prime example of Mr. Depp and Amber. They're abused so much that the whole world knows about it. And it highlights the harsh domestic abuse that is very, very common. If there are 4 of you standing, talking, 3 of you have suffered domestic abuse. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a female or a child even, because if there is a domestic abuse happening at home, most people have children, and your children and other family members have taken the brunt of that domestic abuse in some form. I assist a lot of people who have gone through domestic abuse or are going through domestic abuse. And there isn't much you can tell me that I already don't know, you know? So why do we get married? How do we know who's right for us? How expensive is that marriage to you, and how is it impacting your personal success? Now, if your success means that you just want to be a husband or a wife and have a regular job and stay with that husband or wife forever and ever, and life will be absolutely no problem at all, and that is success to you, then that's fine. You've got nothing to worry about. Get on with it and enjoy it. Wouldn't it be lovely if we knew what we want and we get what we want and we just live that life? And some people will say, that's boring. For me, that is perfect. I would love to have a boring day. Yes, so Steve is putting all the monetary benefits of marriage. But isn't it funny that we don't talk about our personal success, our personal growth? So most people will have their children mid-20s to mid-30s. So after that, this is your prime age. In your prime, you will have your children. And that's when your hardship starts, because now you need a home for your child, a nursery, all the feed and cleaning equipments you may need to raise that child, to nurture that child. All your expenses and your lifestyle is put on hold because that child is now the priority. And when that child has become the priority, it also has an impact on your personal health and on your partner's personal health. When do we pay attention to those matters? Who is responsible? Who gives you help? When you go into those areas, you will find you will get less and less and less help. Medically, they're all facilities are available, but you might have to wait for some length of time before you can access those facilities. But should you have a child, if you are not fully prepared, that is that is a question that not many people ask themselves. Not many, but some do. How does it impact you emotionally? I know there are some men who having a child has totally broken their marriage because a man suffers emotional um issues towards a person who's now the priority in the domestic home. There are lots of behaviors that we may not have seen or witnessed or understand. So, what about the mum? She has gone through, a whole year of trauma, 9 months of body trauma. When you're putting, before we had a very, uh, advanced technology. Before that, pregnancy was almost 50-50 death or life for a woman. A lot of women lost their lives during childbirth. So, you know, we may have the technology and we may have, modern equipments to have kids when we are 70, or if you can't have child, you can have, tube babies and all that. So how does that impact your decision making and your success? So the modern trend of the 21st century is not about marriage. It's not about having traditional thoughts. It's not about raising a child. The modern trend is having a child or having children from different fathers, which was also a taboo when I was a young girl, for example. First, the divorce was a taboo, wasn't it? Divorces were not a common thing like today. Most of you my age would know that. And that has divorces now. No problem at all. We have quickie divorces, pay your money and get divorced instantly. Well, divorces can't happen instantly, but I can see that coming. But you do have, quick divorces, and if you don't have complications, complicated lifestyle, divorce can be very quick. No problem at all. So in the past, we married for different reasons. We had children for different reasons. Or did we just follow because everybody got married, so this is the done thing? Everybody had a child, so we must have a child. Who is following who? Everything is confusing. So when do you think about your personal success? Do you even have time to think about your personal achievements? So, or the trend is, while you were in school, or, you are likely to have a child already. The 21st century trend is you would be having your own child, your stepchildren. Even stepchildren was not a common practice. Having stepchildren was not common. But now, before having children from different fathers, that's perfectly the norm. In the past, when I was a very young girl, if a mother had children from 2 different fathers or 3 different fathers, there was a name for you. That's how harsh people are. There was a name. And most people look down on that individual. If you had children from different fathers, you are so and so. How tragic that we can judge another human being like that without understanding their personal circumstance. But judging happens a lot. Who is judging you? It doesn't matter. How you are living your life matters. It should matter to you. So, isn't it funny how it gets complicated? When we talk about religion, relationships, children, success, it's a very heavy topic and it gets very, very complicated. Does it not? Of course it does. So, we talk about success. I feel we are very quick to look down on the traditional way of thinking. And this is the second part of the topic today. You know how everything was a taboo. People don't attend churches regularly. That is also different. People are not committed in relationships. That is also different. People are very quick to leave and decide and say, I am done with you, without really thinking about the consequences. Because if you are going to have or to achieve a certain lifestyle, you need to commit to one person who's going to stand by you. Not just stand by you by sitting on their bottom and doing nothing. Stand by you in everything, emotionally, intimately, during your journey as you're evolving. They need to stand by you, and you need to have that trust. Have you seen a lot of successful people who have lots of money, they have high status, they have, they're probably running the country, or big businesses, or doing an influential work? How many? I always say, a successful person doesn't have so many different families in one household. There are, like when certain presidents had an affair, and most of us would have thought she should leave him, and she didn't. Did we think, I can't believe she just stayed? I can't believe. If that was me, I would have left and done this and done this. Do not judge a person for the choices they have made for themselves, because we never know what happens in the domestic home. If you want to be successful, you need to adopt a traditional thinking, in my views. If you want to have lots of money, stable house, and a united family, perhaps have one partner who's going to stand by you, and marry that person, and don't have a divorce no matter what, and stick with that child. Make a commitment that you're going to stay with that child no matter what happens, because we owe it to the child. The child needs both mum and dad, not just single mother or single father, or need fostering. Or yes, we have exceptional circumstances where those needs can be accommodated, but not when you have you are a perfectly healthy being person, and you have a child from this and child from this and child from this, and now you're all living together. Most people have step families now. Most people have step families, and the grandchildren, or and um, other partners, kids. So it's almost like we've gone backward. We have gone so back because now we've got so many children at home. Whereas this used to happen when we were, when there was no, protection against getting pregnant. So to me, I really feel success can only happen when you stay united. Because don't forget, when a woman is having a child, so this pregnancy period, recovery period, another child perhaps, 2 or 3 children. So there is a good chunk of your life that is put on hold. A woman's life is put on hold. And you need a man who's going to take charge of the domestic finances and the recovery period for a woman before she can resume work if she has to. And that's another topic. Why is a woman not have sufficient time for recovery? The body goes through extreme trauma, and suddenly we are back at work because we put so much on ourselves. Again, will your partner stand by you? And your partner can be man, female, or whatever. Is that person going to stand by you when you're going through pregnancy? Or are you going to suffer alone and be a proud single mother or a single father? In your domestic home, there should only be your children, as far as I'm concerned, until they grow up, Because if you want to have success, you can't just keep changing your environment. Some people are going to be looking at me very funny, like, oh, wasn't expecting that. But look at how many parents split up, and then one parent has to find a new accommodation. That one person is now without the child. That one person has to now set up their home entirely on their own and support the children. So isn't that complicating the matter, of family? You are adding expenses to yourself. So would it not help if you actually took considerable amount of time in choosing who you have a child with? And shouldn't everybody have their own home? Traditionally, we all left our parents' home and then rented and then found the partners and joined forces. But what happens when your marriage breaks up? So then suddenly you are in a dilemma. Can you afford to live that kind of unstable lifestyle? So I wanted to fire some thought-provoking ideas because there are few topics that we want to really discuss about, family life, about death, about your wishes, about, thinking about yourself as just one person rather than the wife of or the husband of. And does marriage have a place? So marriage shouldn't be about because you get financial security or because of this. You should have your own financial security. You should be fully independent both individuals should be fully independent. And when you are very, very sure that you want to get together, that's when you still should maintain your finances independently. Everything should be separate. So I just feel, why do we not talk about these things? Why is it automatically when you get with a guy or a fella or a woman or whoever, you've always had your own room and suddenly you have to squeeze yourself into with another person into another room? To me, you should have your own room, because that's just how I think. I will always have my own room. Why should I, as an adult, be sharing? These are just my thoughts. So don't scrutinize my thoughts, because they are my choices and I love my life and I am a perfect human being and who is successful in many ways. So, Steve, would you like to comment? Would somebody else like to comment on my thought-provoking subject?
Well, I think.
Go on, Steve. Come in. Show yourself.
Coming in. Right, I think that when you're married, one, you're making a commitment to each other,
Absolutely.
right? And it's not about the money; it's about how you love each other and that you're committed to each other,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Forever. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
But as you know, these days it doesn't, it doesn't go that way. Some people don't last long, or it ends, or vice versa. People have affairs and everything, and but the trouble is though, if you're kind of like if someone's a practicing Christian, they should kind of like go by what's in the Bible. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be
It's
unyoked. Don't be
you-
unyoked with. Look, listen, please. You, it says in the Bible, don't be yoked with unbelievers, right? And so if you're in a relationship, if you're a Christian, I believe that if you're a Christian, you should meet somebody else who is a Christian, right?
yeah, but I'm not very fussy, darling.
I know that, but so you're getting me off the thing now. But the trouble is, and that's what marriage can be. But the trouble is, you kind of if I've got married to somebody and my wife had an affair behind my back, then I won't like it. You know what I mean? I want to
I
be
don't
if
think anybody likes it.
no one likes it, no, but it should happen anyway. Because if you marry that person, marriage is for life, not just for one or two
Yeah, so
years.
so this is why marriage should not be rushed in, should it?
Well, but the
Because
trouble is,
if somebody had an affair, I wouldn't want to be with them. I would find it quite sickening to be making love to that person. It's like, ugh.
yeah, but the trouble is, what's gone wrong today in the modern church is that CFE, the Church of England, and the Catholics, what they do marriage courses, right?
But why are we bringing the religion into this? I'm talking. It isn't about religion. I'm talking about marriage and
Marriage
being
is
successful.
marriage is part of religion, right? Because
Yeah, but it's nothing to do with. It's not just Christianity. It's every religion. Religious person
yeah,
marries you. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not always. There's the captains can marry you. Yeah, it's a
right.
cap. Yeah, your pilots can marry you. It's not always about religion. Uh, any person of significant standing can marry you. It's not always the. It doesn't have to be always religious person.
Right. But okay. But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say about whatever background you are or whatever, You
Yeah.
know, seriously think about it before you're going to get married. You know, don't go into it and go, oh, good, I'm going to be. You know, I know somebody who actually got married, right, and had a expensive wedding. I can't remember what it was, £30,000 wedding,
Yeah.
and around about 2 weeks later, that was it. They got
Yeah.
divorced.
I have a friend who's done exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And when I said to her, "Why did you? What was it?" She said, "Well, my partner went off with somebody at my wedding."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, well, then I started saying, well, can't you work it out? You know, because and they said no, no, and that was it. So that was finished. So all that money went onto that wedding. So for
Yeah.
her or for anybody else, it was classed as a a pre-op. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To me, this is why because of the amount of divorces that are happening, I'm just saying, should marriage not be, altered in some way? And why is everybody
Why altered?
thinking,
Why? What do you mean by altered?
well, people understand, why do people get married? Why? If they're going to have an affair, why get married?
Oh
It,
yeah, that's it.
marriage should be for somebody who is serious, who's in a serious, committed relationship. It should not be just, oh, I fancy you, let's get married. You know,
Yeah,
I just think you're tarnishing that bond. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it shouldn't be broken.
no,
But it's just a trend to get married and have divorce. It's a trend.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got it, but
Yeah,
you can see two sides to the story. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think, you know, I put my hands up. You know, I don't know if you read my book and everything or know anything about me, but I'm the last person to say about marriage. You know,
yeah,
if I told you how many times I've been married, you just fall down on your back and thinking, oh my God, why
yeah,
did he get married all those times for? But you know, married is it's just kind of like I remember some people come to me and say, Steve, I want some advice about marriage. I'll say, don't ask me. I'm
yeah.
the last person to do it. You know what I mean?
Why? You were happily married, so why not?
I am happily married now, but
Yeah.
when you've been married a few times,
Oh, you're one of those.
I was married 6 times,
You are a hussy.
right?
You
So I
are
was
a
married.
hussy.
My first wife died in a car crash,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I didn't.
right?
I didn't know.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. My second wife, well, she just kind of like we got married, and what happened was we had a baby and everything, and she kind of like cope, um, and
Well,
she went
there's a
about she was a mummy's girl.
okay.
Okay, so we moved back in with her mum, but then it didn't work between us two because I wanted to come out of the home of her mum's home and be
Yeah.
together, and she wanted to be with her mum. Then so we got divorced. The third one was about well, that was a long story about that one. He went off with my best friend went off with my wife,
Oh God, how
who I
disgusting.
known who I known since I was 6 years old. He
Oh
used to come up.
no.
He used to come around the house, my house, and they used to talk to each other and all that. Like, oh yeah, that was that. But I got my own back on that one. And what else is it? Then it was Lynn, wasn't it? It was Lynn. I was married to her for 13 years.
Oh wow. So what happened? If you want
She
to
was no,
share.
no, no, no. She was older than me. Um, but she was very domineering. She was very um, she wanted things doing all the time. I went into business with her, cleaning. We used to clean all the pubs and the clubs and everything. but it's like every day she just moaned about something, moan. And
Oh
my head,
God.
oh, it was one of these. Honestly, every 5 minutes, my dad, when my dad came ill,
Yeah.
we still get on, and she was doing my boxing. But she looks after my dad now, and we're
Oh,
good friends. We're still good
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Then it was no, and now it's Michelle, and yeah, and
Oh,
yeah, which I knew from school too.
yeah.
But we didn't kind of like each other at school. Well, I liked her, but she didn't like me. You know what I mean? It's true. It's a true story. You know, she used to have this white bag, dirty white bag, and I used to kind of like say, "Go and clean your bag," or I used to try to nick her bag off it, but she whacked me around the head with it and all this lot. Oh yeah,
So
she
you
went
were
out with.
teasing her all the time.
I
You
went
were
out with her
teasing.
best friend. I went out with her best friend.
Oh, you are a hussy, Steve. Honestly.
Um, then after that, no, before that, sorry, not after that. God, my voice here right now talking. But no, before that, when I left Lynn, before I got with Michelle, I had a few relationships, some, one night stands and whatever.
Yeah, but they're okay. They're all fine. When you are single, do what you want. This is what I do. Do whatever you want. But when you are in a committed relationship, that's it. You
Yeah,
only do it with that person, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah. I won't go to Hong Kong again, though. But that's a long story about that one. But it's you know, and
Yes.
when you pick somebody up in Hong Kong and you think it's
Oh
a woman,
dear.
but it turns out to be a lady boy, you're thinking, oh well.
It's just amazing. I like things to be very simple. Find, have a nice partner with whom you have sex, and then just say, "See you next week."
Just, I got caught of because my wife, Lynn, she was very bossy. She every 5 minutes, as I said to you just now, and I was seeing different women. I was seeing Michelle, and I was seeing somebody else. Can't remember her name.
Oh,
Dawn,
naughty, naughty, naughty.
Dawn, Dawn, right? I was seeing. So Lynn got hold of Michelle to bring her down to the pub where I was with Dawn, right?
Oh gosh.
And I was in the thingy, and they came in, and I thought, oh my god, oh. And
Why did they do that? Why did she do that? Because
don't
she
know.
found out.
They found out that I was having a fling, wasn't it? Then, then I was lucky. She kind of like one time, my ex-wife came up to the room, and as she was walking along the room, Dawn went right past her, right? Yeah, it's true. You asked to tell. Walked past each other, and she left her cardigan in the room. Dawn left her cardigan in the room.
God.
Sorry, it was a blouse, was it? So anyway, so it was a blouse, and they said, "Oh, it's whose is that blouse?" I said, "Oh, the staff get changed in the hotel, and they get and it's somebody else's blouse and everything." So it was no, it was I put my hands up, I did I was male tart, yes, my wife said I was a male tart. But if I did it today, I am sure that I would be dead. You know what I mean? But there you go. But no, I won't do it. I won't. But the trouble is, so you can kind of like, to me, marriage really should be about kind of like loving each other, being together. Yes, it can be hard because, if when you're with somebody like 24 hours a day, and if you're not working, or kind of like you're working like a part-time job or something, you do get fed up with them. You do get fed up with your partner. What you're going to talk about
No,
and
you
things
should.
like that.
But this is what I mean. You both need to have your own life. We shouldn't be marrying each other for finance or for anything. You should, every individual, man or woman or whatever your sex
Yeah,
is, you should all be independent financially and otherwise.
you know, you know.
So marriage should only happen if you want to stay with that person forever and trust that person.
Oh yeah, that's all what it's
When the
about.
trust is broken, that marriage will break. But if you have good foundations, you can rebuild that trust.
Yeah, yeah.
Marriage
But
shouldn't be about, oh, she's had an affair or he's had an affair and now we're getting divorced. That we just not are we're not understanding marriage as it should be. I'd much rather be just single and have loads of fun if that's what I want to do, you know.
yeah,
But
Sheila,
don't get married.
hang on for
Yeah.
a second. Sheila from my Facebook saying, "Hi Steve. The trouble is, many couples go into relationship these days with lust, sex, and everything. Then when the sex dies down, whether they get married or not, they pretend to look for partners that can fulfill their needs."
Yeah, so why not just have bed buddies? If you just want to be with another human being for sexual purposes, there is a name for that. Even I know that. Have your bed buddy. Don't marry them. Just have them as a bed buddy, right? It's quite simple.
You're kind of like, you're. Oh, okay.
Have a. I mean, I'm very sensible when it comes to bed buddying.
Uh,
There's
any
absolutely
funny things
nothing
that
wrong with bed
again?
buddying. Hmm? Pardon?
Well, it is really in a way. It is in the way, isn't it? It's
No,
like,
not if no. It's that I think in today's world that is probably becoming popular because you have dads who are taking the primary role of a parenting, and when you are a single parent and children, you do not have the time for a proper full-blown relationship, so people have bed buddies. That's what I've been told. It's Angela's
mm,
research.
Angela's research. Yeah, I think Angela needs to do more research, sensible research.
I am sensible. That's why I'm happy. I have no problems. I have no issues, no dramas, no
I'm
crap.
surprised. I'm surprised because I thought, well, she goes to church, she does her bell ringing. Ah, now I know you do a secret code when you're doing your bell ringing. I'll be finished in 5 minutes. Meet me at my house. Ding, ding.
My intimacy does not take 5 minutes. I have, if it was 5 minutes, I'd do it myself. Thanks.
All right, okay, okay. I'm not saying about you. I mean, meet me at the house in 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
No. I am much happier, not with anybody. I have been single, properly single for the first time, and I love it. I don't think I want
Mm.
another relationship. I've never been properly single. I have no bed buddies. I have access to everything, but I don't want it. I can
What?
have
What?
as many bed buddies if I want it. I don't want it. This is the first time because after a relationship, I've always had when one breaks, the next one is ready. It's always been like this. I haven't, I wanted to have a gap, and there's always somebody who comes along and wants my attention. And like I said, I'm not fussy. So, but this is the first time I really don't want to be with anybody because I love being myself, just being on my own. Yeah.
I think you're totally bonkers. I think you need to go back to the drawing board.
No, I love my life. It's
Hang on for a
perfect.
second. What's your biggest phone number?
What's that? What's my biggest?
No, what's your vicar's phone number?
What?
Your vicar.
Oh,
Your vicar.
we have the coolest vicar ever. I'm bringing him. We've got no. I hide nothing from him. My vicar knows everything about my life, and his wife. Yeah, my vicar is married second time, and he has stepchildren also. And you can talk very, very freely. He knows that I don't live in secret. My life is very transparent. I'm not ashamed of anything, you know. My vicar and assistant vicar knows exactly what I'm doing. Well, not in the bedroom, obviously, but
In the churchyard instead. What they do is when the men finish, what they do is they put a piece of paper on the grave and they chalk it so they can get a stain. I've been here. Oh, I was on top of Tony's grave. That happened at Tony's grave.
Oh dear. I could tell you a story about that, but I'm not going to.
Oh no, you didn't. Did you?
No, I wouldn't be disrespectful like that.
Oh.
I'll tell you in private.
Oh gosh. Oh. Hello. Can you send a doctor to to her house, please, straight away? Yeah, where do you live?
Not telling.
She's not telling. Oh, you know her, do you? Right. he says he's been there, so don't worry. Oh gosh, I don't know.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little chatteroo.
Yeah, that's fine. I've sent you some more stuff for that thingy.
Yes, I have seen it. I'll see if I can finish it this weekend. Yeah.
If you can do, I'll be grateful.
Yeah, that's no problem. Well, anyway, I want to thank my listeners or whoever will listen for love to have your comments and thank you for always listening to Crossroads Podcast UK, and I will try my best to be on time every Friday, talking live at 7. Thank you so much and have a great weekend and stay safe in that blazing sun. That's all for me, Steve.
And don't get burnt.